to pass through.
It ain't opening, so now what?
Just ask someone for help. And we saw something. Let's go, go, go! And now the psycho is after us.
That is Jacob, my pastor.
Oh, what the hell?
Tell the truth.
I think we're locked in here.
I have been called upon to lead this community.
So last night I was invited to a screening of The Gates. This movie comes out actually next week, and the movie essentially follows the story of. I'm not gonna call them three friends because two of them are friends and one of them are kind of at odds, like they're kind of friend of a friend, if you will. But it's Tyon, Derek, and Kevin. Essentially, these three are all extremely different individuals. But Derek is in an Ivy League school and he's coming home for a break, and so Tyon comes over and wants to take him out for the night of town. And Kevin has a high powered car and they want to go have a good time. So they're going on the other side of Texas, and to get through, the traffic is gridlocked, so they pick a back way to go through, and they cut through this exclusively neighborhood. One neighbor lets them in, but once they're in, they can't get out. It doesn't get on the other end, so they knock on the door of someone, and in the midst of them knocking on that door, James Vanderbeek plays Jacob, who's a pastor, and he actually kills a woman, and they notice and they run. Now, these three are stuck in this rich community, locked in, and no one will believe them that their pastor has killed this woman, and now the pastor is on the hunt for them, along with calling the police and having everyone hunt for them in this small community. Like when I first saw this trailer, I was like, "Oh, this movie's gonna be crap." Because I have a love-hate relationship with Lionsgate's films. Like, to me, they're always hit or miss. They're never like always hit, hit, hit. But this movie, I have to say, was extremely done well. I loved all the characters, and there's a couple good things I'll take about from this movie. All these different characters. Madison Gooden plays Derek, and uh Al Smith right here, Kevin. They're at odds for the most part of the movies. I guess because one thinks he's better than the other. And I love the individuality that they show between all these different characters, like their differences, and they're almost kind of vitriol and hate for kind of like one another. And it's like his friend Tyon, played by Keith Powers, is like he's going through his own struggles in school as like a hurt quarterback, and their issues kind of all come in line while trying to escape this, and they're all kind of having that inner battle with one another, but still trying to survive, obviously. And then James Van Der Beek, God rest his soul, I will give it to you. This man played that role. I mean, he was a pastor that caught doing some dirt, and he was the most manipulative asshole that I have seen. And he used the Lord's name in vain. He used Bible scriptures to kind of coerce these people to kind of in this community to help him. And like, he was so evil but so righteous at the same time. He was doing it like, saying like, this is the will of God and things of that nature. But R.I.P. to James, because like this was his final role. Because if you don't know, he passed actually February 11th, just a couple weeks ago, and this would have been such a good way for him to go. Like, this was a really good role. Like, I wasn't, like I said, I thought this movie was gonna be trash. It ended up being good. I love the individual struggles between all these different characters, and how like they have this kind of turmoil towards one another while being stuck in this position of, hey, we have to escape. And this movie does a good job of dealing with those aspects of racism. Like, through obviously there are three black African American males in this upper white community. They're all thrust into these different situations where they're giving different outlets to kind of leave. And so they all go down like three different ways of trying to get out and get help. And you start seeing in each turn the racism per people in these communities. Like, one guy goes to a party, so I think he can rap. The other guy is trying to talk to this one girl who like people are trying to hit on her, so they thinking like he's like like a thug or whatever, and he's just trying to basically kind of help this girl out. They're trying to help one another kind of escape. And then the other one, Derek, to me, Derek is pretty much like the main star of the movie, but he kind of has like a lot of issues far as like being realistic about the world that he lives in. He thinks that that as long as you're cool and calm and polite to officers and everyone, they respect you. But he's obviously biracial, and he doesn't get the aspect of where the other two friends come from. They're like, hey, we niggas, and they gonna treat us like we niggas. Even if you a little lighter nigga, you still a nigga. And he kind of gets the kind of taste of the real world in this small community, even though he comes from a nice area. But all in all, I have to say, like, this movie was solid. I took my mom and my cousin to go see it, and we were like on the edge of our seats, like it wasn't a lot of action, but the tension that that James Van Der Beek brought as Jacob in this, it was just palpable. Especially like the last like 15, 20 minutes, like you're just like on the edge of your seat, just like, oh my god, like I very good ending, and it's just R.I.P. James Van Der Beek. March 13th, I want everyone to go see this. It was a awesome movie. I would have to say 9 out of 10.